Somebody told me that you felt the same way since we went. Why won't you give me a call? We'll ride on those waves again. In California sunlight, there's a storm. 'Cause without you it wouldn't be the same. Last night I was dreaming out loud. California sun making my eyes dry. Can we still make it happen? It's worth a try. It's a beautiful light, staying in the blue skies. Next year, winter, let's give it a try. Keep dreaming out loud. Yeah, I've been dreaming out loud tonight.
Are you going to make it full screen? What? My view? Let's get the background up, Matt. Oh, man, I am telling you, that gets me so pumped up. I am telling you, there's something about that kind of confidence, right? That kind of confidence that you know that you are going to win. And imagine having that kind of confidence when you go on your seller appointments. Right? I mean, imagine that you know you've got these leads pre-qualified and you've got the right strategy to really help out this property owner. And really, when you understand this right here, these three parts, the speed, convenience, and price, that is what you need to know. The speed, convenient, and price. You need to understand, what does the seller expect? What does the seller want? Right? Are you able to really figure this out? And a lot of this is determined by the condition of the property, right? When the property is in really rough condition and they can only sell to a cash buyer, then it is all about speed and convenience. But if they have a decent house, if it's just a dated house, right? If it's a house that could get a conventional loan, you don't have to just get a cash buyer for it. That's what we're talking about today when we're talking about Novations, because this is about the convenience and the price. They want to get more for their property. Do you have any leads that you've talked to, raise your hand for real, that want more than you're willing to offer them? This should be everybody on here, right? That's what we're going to break down, and that's what's so exciting, right? Because having a second option, having the ability to give people more with the second option, is that training, is that experience that you can bring to that property owner to really solve their problems. Nobody is better at it in the country. He's been doing it over 10 years. He's absolutely incredible. He's mentored me in so many different ways, and I am so happy and excited to bring Todd Toback onto this Progress Not Perfection show. Todd, get up here. What are we doing?
Let's go. Come on now. I am the greatest.
Right. That's it. I'm telling you. I mean, Todd, and I really want to kind of break this down so that everybody can really understand what we're talking about with Novation, because literally 90 days ago, I heard the word, had no idea what it was. I started reaching out and kind of figuring out what it was. And then you're like, yeah, I've been doing these forever. It's just direct on the market. So can you give me kind of like, an explanation so that we can put it in our brains in an easy, digestible way so that we can understand what a Novation is?
Sure. So do you want me to explain a little bit about why the timing is so perfect right now, or do you want me to go right into why Novation?
Go through all of it. Yes.
Right. So, Brent and I mean, we are like deal junkies, right? We love wholesaling. It's like, it's in our blood, right? And I don't think there's any easier way to make money in real estate than wholesaling. And so obviously we've been talking about how to do big, fat, juicy deals and how the cash buyers are flooding the market. And we've gotten buyers to bid on our properties. And so really the wholesalers have been in control. The last 12 years, right? 13 years. And now all of a sudden, because of interest rates, because of inventory going up, because of inflationary pressure, inflationary pressure on the market's shifting, right? The buyers are leaving the market, especially some of those cash buyers, right? Those cash buyers are kind of in this wait and see mode. They're going to say, our price is going to go down. Are they going to stay flat? What are my lenders going to do? What are the banks going to do in terms of my lines of credit? And so they are kind of like just sitting or getting really, really, really conservative in their numbers. So what does that mean? It means when we have a property under contract and we send it out to a cash buyer or cash buyers, we are now less in control than we were in the past, right? We have a lot less options, and frankly, they're offering less. And so a deal that if you would have asked me 90 days ago, we would have made 50 or 60,000 on, we're making, 10, 15,000, sometimes not at all. Right. And so now we are adapting, right? I love that video clip that you had in the beginning with Muhammad Ali. He talks about the confidence. And today with Brent and I, we are going to give you the confidence to be able to pivot and to make this happen with this new strategy to match exactly what's going on. Because your number one friend is trends, right? If you try to swim upstream, you're going to get your rear end kicked by the guy or the gal who's swimming downstream. And so that's why novations are so important. If I had to make it as simple as possible, what a novation is basically going to allow you to meet with a motivated seller, get a contract, just like in traditional selling, and go around and sell that to a retail buyer. Okay. Not sell to a cash buyer, but to a retail buyer. That's the only difference, right? The only difference between a regular wholesale and a novation is that you are selling someone who's going to live in it. And the best part is that they're going to get a traditional loan. Why does that make a difference? Well, because someone who's going to live in the property, and it doesn't have to be someone who's going to live in it, but most likely it's going to be, is not interested in making a profit, right? They want to live it. They want to live in it. They want to enjoy it. They want to use the property. And because of that, they're willing to pay a lot more than a cash buyer.
And that's it. And not only that, Todd, but 80% of the buyers are not cash buyers. Maybe 85 to 90% in this market are not cash buyers, because the cash buyers are waiting for the market to really settle down. And they don't want to buy something with cash right now or with hard money financing right now if they think that the market's going to go down 5, 10, 15% by the time that they are going to be able to flip this property or refinance this property. So this is a strategy that is like a must have as we're going into a normal market. And that's what this is, guys. We went up 44% in some areas. We went up 20% in some areas. We went up 10% in some areas. Some of the areas that really shot up in appreciation, we're going to give some of that back. And some people estimate they're going to give 2/3 of that appreciation that was really experienced after the pandemic. They're going to give that back to get into a more normal market. The fact is, buyers have more options right now. When buyers have more options, that means there's more inventory, which means that when somebody flips a house, it's not the only house on the market in that block, and it doesn't get 15 different offers. So yes, cash buyers are out there, but everybody watching this, Raphael's had this conversation, I've had this conversation, Todd's had this conversation with our cash buyers, and they go, yes, I'm buying, but just at the right price,
Yeah.
right? That's what they're all saying. That's what they're all saying. And when they're saying that we're now talking to sellers that are like, yeah, I'll sell at the right price. They're still expecting prices that were happening 90 to 120 days ago. Guys, we know this because we're in it. We know this because we actually like are doing deals and have companies that are going out there and sourcing discounted properties, working with the 6 to 10% of the real estate market that's in distress at all times. We need to open up our opportunities to serve the sellers that we're communicating with. And I think it's really important to understand that the condition of these properties is going to determine which bucket this fits in. I would love to say that these dated properties that just need some like light renovation, they need some updating. I would love to say that they would love to trade price for speed and convenience. But the truth is they still want those prices that were established from Zillow, from Redfin, from their neighbors, from the conversations that they've had over the last 6 months. So this gives us the ability to not just focus all of our business on just cash buyers, but all the buyers.
Yep.
So I think that's really important, Todd. Like what properties qualify for this that you can actually sell to a retail buyer?
Man, that's a really, 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 really good question, Brent. So I've got lots of examples that we can talk about.
I want to break some down for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's really interesting. And we did not talk about this webinar, but the first time I actually did one of these deals, right? I did some other things like it. My first deal actually was kind of like this, but the first time like I truly did it, like the way that we're talking about right now, was actually, are you ready for this? Guess what year?
Oh, geez. You've been doing it forever. 2013.
Okay. Well, no, because it's very similar to what it is right now, right? And that is 2005, right? 2006. And what's similar with that? Well, right now, we don't know what's going to happen, right? Me and Brent, we're not market experts. There's a lot of people who think there's a crash, but we do know this. The market slowed down, right? And buyers are picky. That's for sure. And there's no arguing with that. So right in 2005, what happened, at least in San Diego, and by the way, you can do this everywhere because I'm in multiple markets. But in 2005, 2006, the buyers just started disappearing.
Yeah.
Right? It started going very, very, very quiet. And geez, okay, so I'm a little embarrassed to say this, but I actually looked in the newspaper for real estate deals, right? And what's cool is, guys, don't think I'm that old because I knew the newspaper was kind of outdated, even back in 2005, right? But there was a house for sale in the for sale by owner section. And it said, need to sell, extremely flexible, okay? And this property actually was in La Mesa. And this was like, actually in the city I live now, I was living in the next town over. And I met with a guy and he was asking 2.5 million for the place. Now, don't let that price scare you, okay? Because this works in California. This also works in Florida, and it also works in Oklahoma. So all the price points, it's all the same. So anyway, I'm looking at the guy. He wants 1.25, and all the comps from 3 months ago, 6 months ago says this thing is worth 1.25, 1.4, 1.5, right? It's in a really, really, really nice area. It's a 4,000 square foot house, but this thing's not selling, right? It's got a little bit of traffic noise, right, against it, but the buyers are not there, all right? So long story short, I said, Mr. Seller, I'll tell you what, let me help you sell this property, right? I need the right to buy this property. Let's go under contract to purchase, and I'm going to market the hell out of this thing. And at this point, he had already tried to sell it and he was motivated. He had a timeline. He had another property that he had to sell, right? We signed a regular purchase agreement. I went and I marketed it, used my real estate agent. I was actually out of town. I was actually still working at my job at the time, Brent. Okay. I was still working at a job. Okay. My realtor calls me, by the way, and I got it under contract for about $1 million. He says, I have a buyer for you at $1.25 million. And you can qualify for a loan. Okay. Now, obviously, we're talking about somebody qualifying for a loan. It sounds a little different than wholesaling. Okay. Well, I had a local mentor and he says, Todd, all you got to do is put these two people together. Okay. And let the buyer and the seller basically go into contract together. Right. Then let them close it because there's no seasoning requirements. What that means is the buyer can be direct with the seller. It's not going to put up your red flags with a lender. That's all that means.
Yep.
Okay. Put them together. And then all you have to do is basically write an invoice. Okay. What I mean by an invoice is I basically took a Word document, okay, Google Doc, put invoice at the top, put my profit on there, right? And I think it was like $79,000, right? And they negotiated me down on price a little bit, but hey, there's still $79,000. I put this invoice in, okay, and it was the biggest check I'd ever made in real estate up to that point, and it was like $79,000. I brought it home. My wife cried, okay, and the first time, and we booked a trip to Hawaii. And that was the first Novation deal that we did.
But there has to be more to it, right? There has to be more documentation. There has to be more to the system of, because a Novation, if you look it up, is basically like one contract replacing another. It's not like an assignment. An assignment is, I have this contract, I'm going to assign these rights over to this person, get a fee. Correct. Right. Yeah, and when you get a fee like that, they have to be cash, because a conventional bank doesn't want this to be assigned. They want to see the original purchaser on the original contract, and they don't want to be paying assignment fees. So how does that not happen with a Novation? Just because you put a bill to the seller, is that all you need to do?
So here's the beauty thing. First of all, you only really need 2 pieces of paperwork to make this happen. Now, they need to be the right pieces of paperwork, and you need to fill them out the right way. Okay. Yep. And actually, we're going to talk more about this tonight. Tomorrow night. Brent and I are doing a training, right? Yep. What is that link? Novationstraining.com.
Yep.
So novationstraining.com. Brent and I are doing a full training on this, but you need 2 pieces of paperwork, right? There is a third in certain circumstances, but you need a purchase agreement. Okay. And then a special agreement that we call a net proceeds agreement. Okay. And this agreement basically explains to the seller, hey, listen, we agreed that you're going to net XYZ. Okay. But I'm going to sell this. Basically, we are going to sell this property to a new buyer. I'm going to put you guys together. Okay. And basically, I'm going to get paid off the closing statement as a fee by the seller. But no matter what, Mr. Seller, okay, and if that just went over your head, this document guarantees you will net X, Y, Z. Yep. Okay. So you must have this agreement. Okay. You absolutely must have that, right? And you must have a purchase agreement. Okay. A purchase agreement that gives you the right to market and to list with a broker. And I'll talk a little bit more about that.
Man, let's put on just so everybody can join us. Novationtraining.com. Is it Novations or Novation? Novation, right? Novationtraining.com. Put it on the bottom there, guys. Sign up for it. It is a full training on this tomorrow. We can't keep Todd all day. He's actually doing business today, and he's flying in right after we get off this conversation to do this training here tomorrow live. It's going to be all about this, and he's going to just open it wide open. So novationtraining.com. Go there, register right now. I am telling you, this is one of the tools in the toolbox that you have to have, and we're learning it right now. Todd's literally training my team and has been training our team, and we've got some hot leads that we're just right there on. So it's really exciting to see what's going on in our business. So Jared asks, how can we get a contract to use, or what verbiage?
So Jared, real important. I would join the training tonight. So get on the training
tomorrow.
Right? Tomorrow. Excuse me. Tomorrow. Get on the training tomorrow. Right. And again, that's novationtraining.com. Excuse me.
The dog's going to get on the training. It's going to be great.
Yeah. But in terms of doing that, we'll talk about the paperwork that you need. Okay. But obviously, we're not going to get into it and give it away right here. Okay. But we'll talk about more how you can get that tonight on the training. But again, we use a net proceeds agreement. You want to use that agreement. And then you want to use a very, very, very good purchase agreement, which gives you the right, again, to list the property, to make minor improvements if you want, and then put that property on the MLS.
Can you break down a deal? I know that you posted in the Wholesaling Inc. Facebook group. And guys, if you are not a part of Wholesaling Inc. Facebook group, make sure you join us. We're getting very active in that. But what can you break down that deal for us? Give us an example, kind of put some meat on the bones of this, because it's like, oh, okay, there's 2 documents, great. It's put it on retail, great. It's listing it on the MLS, great, with a realtor, great. But like, what is that? How does this actually break down specifically? Can you give us a little bit more meat?
Sure. Well, I can give you another example of a deal. How about that? right? So we'll go. So let's go back to the other. We're going to fly to the other coast. All right. And we had a deal, and this just happened like within the last 90 days. Had a deal in Florida, and the seller wanted a high price for this thing. This place is on the water, though. Okay. Very, very good property. But, you know, it had a few issues in that had some crap inside, not like a hoarder situation, but it was just really, really cluttered, a few nicks in the paint, but just highly desirable property. And the seller wanted a higher price. It was kind of like in the middle between a wholesale deal and a retail deal, right? It should have sold for like 500,000 on the market. And long story short, we got it under contract, 350. Okay. With the seller. Now, if you try to wholesale this again, the price point, you know, it's like kind of scary for a cash buyer. We sent it out to the cash buyers and appetite, right? They're like, you know, offers started coming in at 350, right? 360. And if you know me, I don't really like $10,000 deals, Brent. They make me very, very upset and sad and to do that. So I said, team, you know, we're going to novate this, right? So we already have it in our agreement, right? That we can put on the MLS, that we could list with a broker, that we could do, you know, minor things to the property. And so we set that expectation with the seller. That's real important, guys. Okay. And I'm going to tell you this. One of the things that will hold you back from a novation is your mindset. Okay. Is your belief in what a seller will or will not agree to. Very important. Okay. Do not make assumptions of what the seller will say. So you're like, whoa, wait a minute. Why would a seller allow you to market a property on the MLS? Why wouldn't they do them? Why wouldn't they do it themselves? Right. I could think of a million reasons, right? I don't know every reason why they do. All I know is that they've done it. Let us do it dozens and dozens and dozens and dozens and dozens of times. And they will let you also. Okay. So I want you to break the bondage off what your mind think what a seller will do. Okay. And listen to what I am telling you. Okay. You will get sellers agreeing to do this. Long story short, we got the paperwork signed. Okay. Then we put it on the MLS. We had our broker, okay, listed for us. Now I'm going to talk about the specific broker that you need to use. Okay. It's not any broker. Okay. On the training. Okay. I have to go here in about 10 minutes, Brent. Sorry about that. There's very specific kind we use, but he listed it. He brought the offers in. Long story short, we had it under contract for 350. Remember, this place is worth about 500 fixed up. We got in offers right around 450 for this place. So $100,000 spread right there. Now, you may think, Todd, what about all the real estate commissions and closing costs? Yes, those do exist. So what do we do next? We called up the seller. I said, Mr. Seller, good news. We're going to close the property as agreed. But our funding, because of the market, is going to come from our end buyer. Now, what are you thinking? Oh my God, the seller knows I'm going to sell it to somebody else. Oh. Yes, they know. So seller agrees. I said, I'm going to send you over a new agreement. It's a net proceeds agreement. It's going to tell you that you're going to net exactly what I promised you. I'll say that again. Exactly what I promised you. One more time. Exactly what I promised you. We sign that agreement. That's the cover page. Then I say, I'm going to sell this to another buyer. Okay. That price is going to be higher than the price that I'm selling to you for. So I smack them, boom, right in the eyes with honesty. Okay. But you're going to net, Brent?
What I promised you.
Oh, sounds so good. And the seller, that's all they want to hear, right? That's all they want to hear, right? So they signed the purchase agreement with the new buyer and the new seller. They also signed the net proceeds agreement, which says that I'm going to get paid the difference. Okay. Buyer and seller signed a new purchase agreement. By the way, this is a standard realtor agreement now that the buyer and seller signed together, right? Vanilla stuff that they signed plus the net proceeds agreement. We closed. There was some closing costs. The realtor commissions and closing costs came out of my proceeds. Long story short, do the math, $70,000, $80,000. Good enough for me.
Love it. Now, when I heard about Novations, the first time that like it kind of just filtered into my world was like people were like, well, you partner with the seller you become the funding person for all the repairs. You get this property totally fixed up, and then when it sells, you guys split the profits based on whatever the agreed price was originally. You're not talking about going in and totally renovating it and putting 30, 40, 50,000 of your own money into these properties, are you?
No, I don't recommend doing that. Right. I don't recommend doing that. Could you do that? Sure. And there's some advanced techniques that you could do that, especially if you're a fix and flipper. You
Sure.
can use this, right? And you have those resources. But most importantly, Brent, I'm going to show you how to do this with little to no money, right? And is it better if you have, is it better if you're willing to put $1,000 or $2,000 into a property sometimes? Yes. And I'm going to show you some ways that you can do that, but you should not be putting 15, 25, $35,000 into these properties. I got
is there a maximum you would say, Todd, that you and your business is comfortable with investing into a deal, or is it case by case?
I do have a number which I can share with you. I got another case study if you want to hear about it.
Let's do one more. Let's get everybody excited, guys. Novation training. We're going to be breaking this down, like really, really breaking down. You know, this show is about celebrations. This show is about answering a lot of questions. This show is about giving you the instruction that you need to go take action right away. So we're going to focus. We want people that are really serious in this to come and join us tomorrow, not tonight, tomorrow. And all the information is at novationtraining.com. Yeah, definitely everybody should register. Everybody should be on that training. Everybody that's looking for another tool in the toolbox, everybody that's getting out negotiated because somebody's locking up deals higher than you, or they have different strategies than you, everybody's going to be left behind. Like Todd was saying, everybody's going to be swimming upstream if they don't have this strategy in this changing traditional market where we can open up these deals to retail buyers. And guys, I am telling you this because this is something that we have to change in our business. We still do incredible deals, but I'm telling you, the prices that we're negotiating now, I mean, the deals that we're negotiating down now are 30 to 40% lower than they were literally like 60 days ago. So I want to get bigger deals, and I want my acquisition managers to be equipped with every single resource and tool that they need so that they can go on those appointments, put it into one of these three buckets and figure out, is this a wholesale deal? Is it a novation, or is it a creative finance, and or just refer it over to a listing agent? And once you have those down, guys, I'm telling you, you're unstoppable. From there, you could do any deal. If somebody is motivated, you could do every single lead that you have can be converted. If they're actually serious, if they actually want to sell it, if it's in their best interest. But you need to learn these things. We didn't have to do this, guys. We did not have to do this before because we could lock up anything and sell it, and the cash buyers were there.
Seriously.
I'm just saying, if you want to hedge for and have a really robust business for the next 2, 3, 5, 10 years and really build something special, a real business that runs without you here, you need to learn these techniques because it's going to be in our market for the next at least 3 years, probably 5 to 10, just depends until we get into another crazy seller's market. But as it starts cooling off and the buyers have more power, we need to bring more buyers into the fold. It's just an absolute fact. And that's why, you know, I mean, Todd, you don't have to do this training. You've been wildly successful in your business forever. You do these huge deals. You've been doing it forever. But this is like something that people really, really need. And you decided to come out and really teach everybody this. And I think it's incredible. And I think people should take advantage. I really do.
Well, it's interesting, Brent. I think you should, for you know me, Brent, how often do I travel?
Never.
Okay. Never. And I got to tell you, Brent got me so pumped up. And this is so
we
urgent.
need it. I'm telling you, we need it
this
in our
so
business.
urgent. Brent's got such a heart for the students, and I'm just really, really excited. You know, we've got a great question here, and I'll answer this. Is can we just double close?
Yep.
Great question. Sometimes you actually can double close on these, right? And some lenders will allow with conventional financing. Okay, but you don't know that going in, right? And you can't count on that. Right. And then sometimes I can tell you, ask me how I know this, right? Everyone's like, oh yeah, double close is cool. And all of a sudden last day, they're like, what? We can't do this. Right. And now you got to go back and you've got to now deal with the seller. So it's better to really anchor the seller. And by the way, are you ready for this? This is what I love about this. Adversity actually makes you get better.
Yep.
Right. It makes you not be lazy and improve systems. So it's actually much cheaper to do in terms of the cost on you, basically your profit, right, than double closing, right? So if you're double closing, you got 2 sets of closing costs, you got 2 sets of insurance, you got 2 sets of doc stamps, right? And so they kill you, right? I mean, so on some properties, you're looking at $3, $4, $5, $6, $7,000,
Yep.
right? If you can do innovation, you actually avoid all of that. So you avoid extra title insurance, you avoid extra closing costs, you avoid extra doc stamps, right? Do that, of course. Talk to your attorney about all that in your title company. But Jerry, yes, you can in certain circumstances, but don't count on it.
Yep. Melanie asks, will the training be recorded? I have a local real estate meetup at the same time tomorrow.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Get there live. Get there live, Melanie. Right? Get there live. I don't know if they're going to do a replay. They may, but just don't be there live. I would tell you, get your questions answered. I would cancel the meetup and get your rear end there. That's just me. Okay. This is that important.
Yep. Totally agree. Will you guys share the net proceeds agreement at the training?
I'll put it up on the screen if we have time. If we have time, I'll put it up on the screen and go over some of those things. So if I've got time, okay, no promises, but again, I'll have it on my desktop, right? And if I've got time, I'll pull that up. Okay. Actually, maybe I'll have Brett also add it to the slide so they can see it.
Yeah. If I'm a licensed realtor, would I have to pay my brokerage or split on a Novation deal?
Oh, get your rear end of the training. I'm going to talk about this tonight on the special broker you got to work
tomorrow,
with.
Todd. It is tomorrow.
Sorry, guys. I'm sorry. I keep on saying tonight. It is tomorrow. Tomorrow. So we'll see you. Novationtraining.com. Do you drop EMD on the property for Novations? Yes, you do. A full $100.
Is that what you average? $100 on it?
$100.
Yeah. Incredible. Give me one more. Can you do this on vacant land?
You could.
The issue with vacant land, Daniel, is you need cash buyers typically for vacant land, right? So you're still going to have to get that at a smoking deal. That would fit more in a wholesale bucket with vacant land, because most lenders aren't going to lend on vacant land. So it would have to be like a construction loan type situation where something's already getting built and a hefty down payment. But for the most part, land is going to be with cash. So there you go. Awesome.
All right, let's do one more, Brent. One more.
Yep.
So, that's really cool. John asked a question. So John says, what's the difference between this Novation and the Novation deals where you partner with a homeowner to fix and flip their house? So John, I personally think that's more of an advanced technique, right? And you could, and for me, the one thing, this will lead right into the next deal, is the one thing I'm always looking at, right, is what is the risk and what is the reward? I look at Sam Zell. He's a billionaire, and I look at him as a mentor. And he says, does the downside justify the upside, right? And so in this market, people have kind of been getting lucky, right? If they do a bad deal or fix and flip, the market has been helping them. So if you actually fix and flip a house and put a lot of money into it, even if you think it's a good deal, and even if you didn't buy the house, you still have that fix and flip money out of pocket. What if that house doesn't sell? And so I'm going to talk about that here in a minute, right? You want to use the right amount of money. You don't have to use any, right, to maximize your profit, but also minimize your risk. That's why you could do this if you're absolutely brand new. Okay, so let me tell you about this deal that we're working on right now. Okay, so we've got a condo under contract in Florida, and the sellers don't want to deal with it. They got some cash offers. They didn't like those cash offers, right? They were really, really low. The ARV on the thing, after repair value, what the property will basically sell on the open market, if it was all fixed up, it's about $250,000. Okay. Long story short, we negotiated down to 165. Okay. Now the house, the condo, it has some chipping paint, and it had some garbage in there. It had like a leaky faucet, like some of that like rust on the inside. You know what I'm talking about? But like just so not appealing to a retail buyer, right? And I think at one point they had it listed. So long story short, we told the seller, hey, listen, we'll pay you 165, right? We need a 60-day close, but we're also going to go in there and do some paint and some cleanup. Okay. Seller says, sure. Okay. So we get the key from the neighbor. Our broker, by the way, this is real important, goes over there, takes all the pictures and tells us what needs to get done the property and handles it all. So we put a few $1,000s into the property. Again, it's just a few $1,000s. We do paint, clean up, get the rust off the sink, get the leak. Simple as that. Okay. Now on the MLS, this thing right now, okay, is going to sell for about 209 as is. Okay. With the changes, 209. So if you do the math, that's about, and again, these are rough numbers, about 30 G's.
Yep.
Okay. After you pay all the real estate commissions and closing costs. Okay. And the repairs there. So, now you take a look at Todd, what about the major repairs? So if you notice, I could have replaced the cabinets. I could have, put new countertops in. I could have, updated everything, right? I could have gotten rid of the popcorn ceilings, right, in there, but I don't need to get that 250. Okay. I don't need to get that 250. I don't want that 250. And so I know to get it clean and the paint and to get the flaking off the cabinets and to get the leaky faucet and do all that to make this thing look really good. Right. But not like, brand new. All it takes is $3,000. And so that one, you don't have to do it, but we saw the opportunity. We took it. Right. And now it's on the market
For 30 and for a net of 25, 30 grand.
25, 30 grand.
And which, if you would have gone in and replaced and the cabinets and countertops and appliances and scraped it all, probably would have been another 20,000, and you sell it at 250. So maybe you make an extra 10K by putting all that in. But
so now you're understanding risk reward, right?
Yeah.
Is I'm not going to put an extra 30 to make an extra 10. There's no way, right?
Love it.
You'll see a lot of our fix and flippers do this, right? The whole risk, the upside versus downside, always ask yourself, what is the upside versus the downside? And that will help you make your decision, right? Some of you don't have 2 cents to your name, right? And you're going to have to either not do that. And I'm talking about the $2,000 or $3,000, right? Or get a partner or put it on a credit card, whatever, right? But that's your loss, the $2,000 or $3,000. If the whole thing fell apart, if you fix and flipped it, you don't need to take on that risk, in my opinion. That's not the way I like to do business.
Love it. Love it. What real quick, I got to ring this victory bell. What'd you make on that one on the water? 350, 500. What was that?
I think that was like 79 grand, that one.
79.
Yeah, it was between 70 and 79. Brent, one more time. Come on now. One more time.
Okay. Here we go.
All right.
Alejandro, that counts as one bell ring for the tally, but Todd gets two. That's awesome, Todd. You're the best. I love you, man. I'll see you tomorrow. You'll be in town, and it's going to be absolutely phenomenal. It's going to be both of us. Novationtraining.com, guys. Register today. It's in the evening. I believe it is at 4 o'clock Pacific Standard, so that's 7 o'clock Eastern time. Make sure that you are on that training. Todd, thank you so much for hopping on here, giving us 40 minutes of your time, and I'll see you tomorrow.
See you.
Awesome. Welcome. Wow. Here we go. I mean, Novations are going to. Are you working these right now? Are you looking at these things? Talk to me, Raf.
Pony anymore. We know that, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it's another strategy that we're just pushing hard right now. We have the creative financing, but then again, if you partner up with a brokerage, I own a brokerage, so that kind of leads into it.
Yep.
And it's really a partnering process. People don't want to deal with.
Can you guys hear him? Can you hear
inspections.
Raf? Is he too far away from that microphone? You can hear him? Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah. People don't want to deal with inspections and repairs and benzers and all this stuff that goes along with traditional stuff. So, that's really, part of the benefit, right?
Awesome. If you're just joining us, look at this screen right here. Take a picture of it. I have this posted as a PDF or as a pic in the Wholesaling Inc. Group, also in Wholesale Hotline. Use it. Somebody said that it is now their screen, their phone screen background. I love that. I think it should be. So you can just put it on the screen, Matt. You don't have to do that. Huh? No, I know. It looks weird though. Yeah. There we go. Awesome. Well, let's get this thing cracked open. Welcome to the Progress Not Perfection live real estate investing wholesaling show. I am your host, Brent Daniels, Mr. TTP, Mr. Talk to People. And of course, I have Rafael Cortez here, the CEO Pulse. If you guys haven't checked out his podcast, it's absolutely incredible. And so let's open this thing up. I mean, we spent a lot more time than we usually do on the opening here. So we want to make sure that we have enough time for all the questions and celebrations. Okay, celebrations. We need to make sure anybody that has closed a deal, anybody that's called somebody for the first time, anybody that is making progress in the last week, we want to celebrate you and ring this victory bell. It's our favorite part of the show. All right, we want to give you recognition. We want everybody in the comments to squad up. So make sure that you're putting in the comments section where you do business so that you can find people that have a similar brain. Because the fact is, when you go to family barbecues, when you talk to your neighbors, when you go to your kids' schools, when you go to college, when you go wherever social that you go to, and you're talking about how excited you are about wholesaling real estate and real estate investing, this is the look everybody's going to give you. Right? They'll have no idea. It'll just be a blank face. You guys have seen this. You guys have felt this. You guys have experienced this already. So surround yourself with people that are doing incredible things and really find people that are a few steps ahead of you so that they can pull you forward and really help you out to get to that, to get to their position. So there we go. So let's crack this thing open, Alejandro.
You know,
boom.
It's funny you mentioned that, right? People will always judge you crazy at first, and then they'll ask you how'd you do it. So
yeah,
keep that in mind.
There's not a course at the end, Grant. If it'll be coaching, there won't be just a course. Yeah. Rachel, St. Louis wholesaling like crazy, even while running my mobile grooming business. My partner and I have 2 signed residential contracts and a third seller of 4 commercial properties have agreed to sign Friday. Rachel, sell those deals. Get them closed. Here we go. That is awesome. Congratulations. Get them closed. It's great to get them locked up, get them closed. How many do you have locked up right now, Raf?
I think we have about 15 deals on the board right now.
15 deals on the board
JV
for Raf.
in there,
how are you getting those deals?
Cold calling and SMS. I mean,
SMS means what?
Text messaging, yeah.
Text message. One by one, you're just texting people?
Yeah, no, we're doing mass texting. We're using a really cool platform out there. And
what is it? Who do you use?
Launch Control for text messaging is still working. Check it out, guys.
Yep, same for us.
Yeah, and then cold calling. We have a team of 5 cold callers. They're going at it, and then
are these like virtual assistants? Are these in your office? Like
100%.
I don't think we break down your business enough on the show.
Yeah, no. So all my cold callers are virtual assistants. They're all in the Philippines. My lead manager, she manages them, so we don't deal with the micro stuff of managing the cold calling team. And she's also in the Philippines. I mean, she crushes it. I mean, she's running her own little department within the company, which is pretty cool. But yeah, we use.
I like that you're closer to me. This is nice.
We can actually have a conversation.
We can look at each other.
I feel like I was in the bathroom.
That's it. We just put you in the back.
In the closet.
That's great. Yeah, James, you're absolutely right. Raphael builds out an incredible Podio account that we use as well. So, it's really, really solid. Not for somebody new, I would say, right? Somebody that's got the business rolling, because Raphael is not cheap to put that together. But
James
it's absolutely phenomenal,
dude. He's crushing it.
Yeah,
he's one of my students out of New York State. So
out of New York, awesome. Here we go, Eddie. 15K profit deal locked up last night. Here we go. That is absolutely bananas, Eddie. $15,000 profit locked up last night. And if you can, let us know how you found that deal. Let us know what was the marketing technique. Let us know what was the distress of the property owner. Let us know what area it is in the country. That would be awesome to find that out. Give us a little bit more of those juicy details. That would be great. Matt, can you pull up? I put a graphic up of progress, not perfection. It's that one with the ladders. Can you put that up, please? I really like this. I really like this. This is, if we had this mental image in our mind all the time of just starting out, right? Just baby steps, right? Baby steps to your first deal, baby steps, just taking action, just going out there and finding an ugly property, and then going out there and getting the owner's information, and then going out there and getting the owner's phone number, or knocking on the door, or sending them some mail. Now, I'm not patient, right? And I want to control my schedule. So I want to have the conversations with the property owners on my terms. That's why I really encourage everybody to be very proactive, right? And just either pick up the phone or knock on the door and have those conversations on your terms. But if maybe you don't have a schedule to be able to do that, or maybe you want the inbound calls coming to you, just understand that when those calls come in off of direct mail, off of pay-per-click, off of bandit signs, off of magnets that you slap onto the side of your car or whatever else, you got to answer those live. You got to answer those live or get back to them within a minute or two, which really restricts the freedom that you have in your life. And listen, if you don't mind that at this time in your hustle season, that's cool. I totally understand that if you want to do marketing as opposed to prospecting. I'm just saying that if you don't want to wait around and you don't want to you want to have control of your schedule, like turn it off when you're, on a date or at the gym or, running around or whatever it is, vacation, then just pick up the phone, make some calls, call 5 people today, have a conversation with owners of 5 ugly houses. I made a post in Wholesaling Inc.'s Facebook group about just go on to the for sale by owners in Zillow, look for the ugliest ones, call them up and offer them 50% of what they want. Yeah. Right? Yeah. It's phenomenal. I did a call last Thursday with properties listed on the MLS, and I talked to all the agents. The one agent, I was very close, and I think I'll get it, but they took a higher offer. But it's listed for $240. It was originally listed for $323. It's down to $240. Totally destroyed house. I offered $150, right? Wow. And we were negotiating. She goes, "Well, they'll go $180." And I go, "No, I'm still at $150." You know what I mean? Like when you're in the driver's seat, it doesn't matter. When you're negotiating and you have nothing to lose, it doesn't matter. You could be in the driver's seat and have nothing to lose if you're making a lot of offers. Right? So I put it out at 150. They took another cash offer at 180, but I'm sure I'm not sure it won't close, but I have a feeling it won't close. And if it doesn't, I'm going to snag the thing at 150. It was listed at 323. So when I say offer 50%, it's not something that I'm just throwing out there as theory. It's stuff that it's going to work. It will work, and you're going to get some phenomenal deals, but you got to go and reach out to those ugly properties. They're all on Zillow. You could go on Zillow right now and go and look at, like, if you have the median sale price, just Google median sale price in Sacramento or Austin or Seattle or Dayton, Ohio, whatever it is, and then go look for properties that are listed like at 60% of that price or below for single family houses. You're going to run into a bunch of ugly houses listed for sale by owner and by agent. You could call them up and offer them 30 to 50% on those and see if they're ready to move.
Todd said something very interesting too. I mean, we get in our own way, right? Like, why would somebody take, for example, a Novation deal? Don't even think that far. Just present the offer. Get yourself out of that, out of the pathway of that deal. And a lot of times we just overthink things. Yep. We don't know what they're going through. I mean, we're just, there's a volume thing, right? We're hitting, one deal, the next, and then the next one, and thinking that, they wouldn't take this because it's half of it. Yep. It's really a mistake because,
I'm gonna further on that. Alejandra yells at me if I don't answer the question when she puts it on there. I'm gonna pull on that thread a little bit after this. Katerzina. That is an awesome name. I love it either way. Sorry if I butchered it, but listen, do they want to sell it? Or is it convenience that if they can get Zillow, they'll sell it? You know what I'm saying? Like, what is their timeline with any of those sellers? You got to go back to that graphic. You got to go back to, okay, what do they want? Do they want speed and convenience? Then they need to take a lower price. If it's in decent shape, then maybe they can have the price and the speed and just put it on the market, but it's not convenient. Right? Seller financing truly isn't really convenient. They stick around with the properties for a long time. Either they're the bank or you do some sort of wrap or some sort of sub to. They're still in the deal. It's still it's not a convenient thing, right? When you list your property, you got to get it clean. You got to show it. You got to make sure your dogs don't bite anybody. You got to make sure that your kids don't barf everywhere. You need to make sure that you have to do all the repairs. You have to go through inspections. You have to go through appraisals. It's not convenient. Matt, pop it back up, please. Right. The big graphic, brother. So when you're talking to them, you got to see what is their goal, because they can't have price, speed, and convenience. They can't have it all. So what are they going to do? Well, listen, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, if you want the price, if you want Zillow price and you want to get it sold fast, you're going to have to put it on the market. And that means that you're going to go through inspections, and you're going to go through appraisals, and you're going to go through fixing it up, and you're going to go through a real estate agent and building that, and people strangers coming through your house, and all of these things. Now, if you want, I can give you a price, and I can give you the price, and I can make it real convenient, because I'll take care of the whole selling process for you. You're not going to have to fix it up, the little things. I'll be able to do that, and I'll negotiate the deal, and I'll make sure it's as smooth as possible in a Novation. But if it's an ugly house, they got one choice. It's a cash buyer. So if they want, this is the conversation that they have. And you say speed, convenience, and price, you can have two. Which ones do you want? Well, I want all of them. Okay, that's just not the market anymore. Right. And it's educating them. And you don't have to be that blunt, but you know what I mean? Yeah, that's being truthful. We're truth tellers. We're truth seekers. We can't go out there and just lie to people to lock up deals and be like, yeah, you can have all of these things. And before you could have all of those things, because there's multiple offers, sight unseen, cash. It's over. It's over. They only get 2 out of 3 right now. When it's not a seller's market, they only get 2 out of 3. And it's beautiful for us, because it opens us wide open for different opportunities.
100%.
Yep. By the way, agents and sellers right now that have ugly houses on the market are getting furious with everybody out there sending them automatic offers. I'm going to wait till I'm going to put up whatever. They use Privy, or they use some other service. They use whatever. And at some point, it's going to trigger an automatic offer being sent over. Every single agent that I talk to, and the video will be out, when do you think? Maybe tomorrow, of me actually calling these sellers. And every single one of them are like, yeah, I'm getting all these fake offers. Yeah, I'm just, my seller's getting, I've got a lot of offers. They're like, at some ridiculous price. And I'm like, is it a real offer? Or is it like an automatic offer that they're just sending in? And they're like, yeah, it's just automatic offers. And I said, well, how long is your seller going to wait till they get a real buyer? If they don't sell this house, what are they going to do with it? Right? With the agents, they're wasting their time. If they don't sell the property, they don't get paid. Agents don't get like an upfront fee to sell the house. You only get a commission.
No,
so you only eat what you kill. And if they have things that will never sell at those prices, they're totally wasting your time. So you can have an honest conversation with these agents and just be like, man, I just don't want you to waste your time. I'm a real legitimate buyer, but it has to be at this price. And then just over communicate, and you'll get those deals.
Yeah, there's definitely stagnation. I mean, I see it with my agents right now, and I mean, listings
to explain that you have a brokerage,
and so I own a real estate brokerage in Phoenix, and I have agents. My agents, a lot of them do wholesale as well, but they all do traditional listings, right? So what we're seeing, I mean, dude, we're seeing $100,000 price drops, on properties from 60 days ago. It's on competitor properties, I guess.
Yeah.
It's crazy. And agents are going through that right now. I mean, if you work well with the agents as well, I mean, they're going to be able to work with the client directly. They already have the rapport. So build that connection with the agent, get to it, and start presenting options. I mean, it's what
we locked up this deal in Phoenix for $68,000 total, like real rough. And the guy died, unfortunately, during the transaction. And before we were negotiating with him, and he goes, whatever happens, if for some reason I can't complete this, don't let it go to my ex-wife. Right. So we've been in the courts for 2 years, literally over 2 years, fighting for the right to be able to purchase this property. Finally got approval. 4 months ago, We could have sold this thing for $225. Now it's like $125.
Yeah.
Like real, like $100,000 loss on this rough property that fast. Yeah. That's what I'm trying to give you guys this thought in your brain that these properties are not going to sell. These as is really rough looking houses on the market are not going to sell for what the sellers think it's going to sell for. Yeah. And you got to find the ones that are actually realistic and actually have to sell these properties. And you're going to get some phenomenal deals if you jump on it today. Like literally today, right after this, you should just take this energy and enthusiasm in this group here and just go bananas on every ugly house that's on the MLS. And don't just text the agent. Don't just send him an offer. It's not going to work. You need to get in there. You need to call them, text them, buddy, like really make that connection. And you're going to get some phenomenal deals, even on the market. But if it's listed on the market for, let's say, 200,000 or 150 or 100,000, you need to be way under that with what you get it under contract for. It can't show that it's on the market for 100,000 and then you put it under contract at 90 and then try to sell it for 110. Cash buyers won't do it. Don't fall into that trap. If it's even close to list price, first of all, it should be bid up by 1,000 other buyers by the other fix and flippers, right? Because it's on the market, right? So they should already be getting a ton of offers if it's a low price. Well, what I'm talking about is the overpriced ugly houses on the market. Go bananas. Go absolutely bananas on these ones.
Yeah, because they're sitting.
Yeah.
That's what's happening.
Yep.
They're sitting.
Yeah, and they're not going to sell.
Yeah.
I mean, they're not going to sell for those prices. So do those people actually need to sell these properties? That's what you're looking for. And you get that by asking questions. Jared, how long does it normally take for the retail buyer to close since they'll be using FHA? So he's talking about novations here, and it's between 30 and 45 days typically. The pacing item there is the appraisal, the inspections, and what happens to qualify for the property to qualify for an FHA loan, it has to meet certain guidelines, certain safety guidelines. So if there's chipping paint and it's a property that was built before 1978, there is risk that it could be lead-based paint. So all of that paint needs to be painted. And just little things like that, right? If there's a crack in a window, if there's anything, there's just certain safety things that need to be cleaned up. Because FHA, you only put 3.5% down. You know what I mean? So the lender is taking a big, Federal Housing Association is taking a big risk with those loans if it's a safety issue and it ends up, something ends up happening at the house. Brent, one of the things that keeps me going is when you say you want to interview everybody. I do. John, I do. I'm telling you, everybody that joins the coaching program, that's the first thing that I tell them. And I tell them the goal is 90 days. 90 days. I want to be interviewing you and telling your story in the next 90 days because I truly do. John, I would love it. Hop on the phones right now with us in the back. Perfect. Absolutely perfect.
Let's go.
I love it. Multitask that. I wish I had us on when I was making calls.
Dude, I am telling you, if there was a place where I could have tapped into advice when I was getting started, I would have saved so much time, headaches.
2022 is awesome.
And
there's so many shows and there's so many, there's so much out there. So Eddie, I got the $15K deal from a vacant house, sent a letter. Owner lives in Vegas, house is in Pittsburgh. They called me. Motivation and convenience was there. There you go. That's it. Speed and convenience. Listen, Eddie locked that up and got $15,000 because they wanted to sell it fast and they didn't want to have to do anything to it. So they sacrificed price.
Yeah.
That's the whole business. It's the whole business. San Diego. That's hilarious. I'm currently calling for sale by owners from 9 a.m. to 1 East Coast and 1 to 4 cold calling on West Coast. I also got tax violations list from my county. What more could I do to be more proactive? You're doing it, brother. Yeah. I mean, here's the thing, San Diego, you're going to find that once you get into this rhythm after about 30, 60, and especially by 90-day threshold, you want to look at this thing as like a race. Then if you're just starting day one, the end of the race is like 90 days. And this is for real, because that 90 days is really what makes or breaks us all, right? Do you have enough? Do you have enough in the tank? Do you have enough in your mind to understand, and enough faith to understand that you will be successful? You just have to build up enough opportunities to be able to be successful. And that takes about 90 days. Okay. If you don't have a huge marketing budget, if you have a huge marketing budget, it could be a lot faster. But if you're being proactive, like San Diego here, it's that 90-day push. And that's really the challenge. That is the crucible. That's the thing that really makes or breaks if you're going to be, if you're going to stick around in this business. And I want to encourage everybody. So when we do weekly shows, I want to encourage everybody to just stick with it. Just do it this day. Just do it this day. And then say that again tomorrow. And then watch what happens in 90 days after you've built this incredible pipeline of opportunities. All right. So I think that you're being wildly proactive. Just make sure that during those times you're actually calling.
Yeah.
It's not pulling lists. It's not busy work. It's not comping properties. It is actually calling.
Yeah.
Okay. That is phenomenal. And that is, I'm going to ring the bell for that kind of productivity. And then let's do our property of the day. Little, what do we call that thing?
I'm 2 for 2.
Oh, the property poll of the day. We'll do it in 1 second. Chris has a question here. Will there be a chance to ask questions tomorrow night? 1,000% yes. Yes, Chris. That's the whole point of it. So, yeah, absolutely. All right. Property 1. I need everybody's participation. You are going to buy and live and have your family in one of these 2 houses. Which one is it going to be? Is it going to be this giant monster? Look at that property. Absolutely gorgeous. You've got so much outdoor space for entertainment and for views. Look at that. Wow. That's number 1. Okay. And here's number 2. Boom. Look at this one. Oh, much different vibe here. Look at that. You can just pull your boat right into into your garage there.
Does it come with a boat? Is the question.
Of course it comes with the boat. It comes with everything. So let's go back. So is it number 1 for you? Is it number 1? I'm always curious on this. Number 1, beautiful, gigantic. This one looks like it's absolutely massive and modern. It's got the pool indoors. Are you kidding me? It opens wide up. That is just, you got your own river and lake here. Or are you going to be pulling in your boat here and living on the water? Living on the water. There you go. Not quite as big. Can't fit as many people. But which one do you go? Is it a number 1 or number 2? Put it in the side chat. Number 1 or number 2? Which one are you going to take? Raph.
I'm always going to go for the water, man.
You want the water?
I want the water.
He loves
I love
the water.
Other house. It's a gorgeous house.
Alejandro, your water?
But the water.
Matt?
Number 2. Or, sorry, number 1.
Number 1. Matt's number 1. I think I'm number 1 too. I like that. I have a feeling that number 2 will have a lot of bugs. I don't think that's the ocean. I don't think you could just pull up
like a lake.
It looks like a lake there. So I'm always worried. And the reason I am, like, I go outside right now and I'll get bit like by every creature ever. Like, I don't know if it's my A positive blood type or whatever it is, but I like have so many bug bites all the time.
It's the positive vibes.
It's the positive vibes. I'm like a chill, positive guy with these bugs. I'll tell you what. Number 1, number 2, put it in there, guys. Let us know what you guys think. Also, if you feel like this show, this channel, this energy, this instruction is getting you closer to your goals, hit the subscribe button. Stop messing around. Hit that subscribe button. We come out with new instruction and content every single day, and hit that like button for the show. It helps us out tremendously, and we really, really feel good when we get over, what is it, 100? 200 likes. We get over 200 likes. We send out a swag bag or a swag box to somebody with a ton of great goodies in it: a shirt, a hat, a lead tracker, a numbers analyzer tracker, the whole thing. It's really, really, really cool. So hit that like button if you haven't. Make sure you put in if it's number 1 or number 2. And if you have any questions, we're here. We're here for another 55 minutes. This is a 2-hour show, and we're ready to rock and roll and answer some questions, and certainly ready to ring the bell. We can't just leave it at like 2 or 3 rings. You know what I mean? We're at like 3 rings right now. We need to get to like 10.
Ramp that up.
What's the record? 6 is the record. Well, we just started counting, really, but 10 is the record. Okay,
go.
Enzo. Are we on bell ring number 6 already today? Yeah. Holy cow. I feel like I'm time traveling. Okay, my partner and I have 2 wholesale deals and 1 flip closing in September. What? Enzo, what are you doing? You're $1,000 away from 6-figure month. What are you doing? Congratulations, 99,000. That is great.
Right there.
That is great.
There.
6 bell rings. Oh my gosh. 99,000. Push it over 6 figures. You guys are just coasting. You better get me in. Listen, if that's closing in September, you need to find me at least one more deal that's at least $1,000 before the end of September. That's going to close. You got to push that thing over 6 figures. That's your challenge. But congratulations, $99,000. Incredible. Eric, for Novations, if a retail buyer gets this financing, do they still get paid right away, or is it done in payments? No, the banks will pay it all. So what happens, Eric, is the retail buyer will put their down payment, and then the bank loan will cover it all. So if they buy it for, let's say, $300,000, and they have to put down 3.5% or 3% or whatever it is, they'll put in their $9,000 to $10,000 down. The bank will put in $291,000. The seller gets paid. We get paid, and maybe we agreed with the seller that they're going to make $240,000 on it. And after all the costs get pulled out of that $300,000, let's call it, 7% in cost, that's $21,000. You get the middle of that. So, I mean, that's what we're talking about. It's just opening it up to other buyers, but you can only do it if the property is in decent condition, that if it'll qualify for a conventional loan. But we run across this all the time, guys. You have to think in your mind, like all those do-it-yourself buyers, right? They want to take the picture in front of the house with, their overalls with paint on it, or their shirts with paint on it, and they're fixing up this property that was dated, but now is going to be something beautiful. You know what I mean? That's the buyers that we're going for, and those are the properties that we're going for. They're dated, they're not destroyed. So. Do you think that wholesalers are going to be down 50% by the end of the year? It just depends, Manny. I mean, it depends on your market, and it depends on the cash buyers. But, yeah, I would say yes. Yeah, I think the fees will be – it just depends on how fast they raise the interest rates and how much inventory hits the market. So if there's a tremendous amount of inventory, then there's going to be a lot for people to choose, which is going to slow down the amount of fix and flippers and cash buyers in the area, because they don't want to just flip a house and have it on the market for forever and eat all the costs. So it just depends on how the buyer activity is in your area, cash buyer activity is. But I mean, listen, it depends on what you negotiate. I mean, prices are still prices. I mean, it just depends on how hard you negotiate. I mean, maybe a $100,000 deal turns into a $50,000 deal. Is it still a good deal? You're still going to be happy with that? Absolutely. $25,000 turns into $12,500. I mean, it's really, we're going back to 2016, 17, 18 on this.
We are having to do price drops on our stuff just because of the way that the inventory is.
Yeah.
So it's happening. I mean, we're seeing it. Just, stay consistent, stay on that volume. But yeah, I mean, we have the ability to fluctuate along with the market as well. So yeah, keep that in mind.
Chris, love the value provided. What is the advantage of a homeowner using Novation versus the homeowner going to an agent directly? A lot of the times it's going to be that they just don't want to deal with any of it. They don't want to deal with the repairs. They don't want to deal with the showings. They don't want to deal with the agent. They just want like a white glove experience, right? They just want you to take over the property, guarantee that I get this, and like I want to forget about it, right? And most of the ones that I've seen are vacant, right? These are vacant properties that were either rentals for a long time or people that have moved out or they're downsizing or, those type of situations. That's what we're finding in our leads. And so, yeah, but they're livable. They can get conventional loans.
Yeah.
Yep.
There we go.
Carolina, just getting started working on my first deal. Novation sounds advanced. What should my main focus be? I love it, Carolina. Todd's one of his first deals was this. Listen, if you're just getting started in this and you're looking to get your first deal, I will always tell you to go after ugly houses and get big checks. So the uglier, the better. Something that could be fast, something that you could get good experience with, something that is a faster process to victory because then you cross from faith to fact a lot faster, right? So I always encourage you to go after the ugliest houses, which means wholesaling first. But if you have leads that are dated, then find somebody that you could squat up with that knows how to do a novation. You could share that deal. Yeah. Great question though.
It's important to have that awareness too. I mean, okay, cool. I need to focus on something as opposed to get the shiny object.
We got a count here. Is it number one? We've got number one here. We got number one here. Here we go. We got this big, beautiful baby, house. My choice. And we've got number two here on the water. And what do we have? What's the winner? We're putting on a toll here. This one? Oh, number 2-1. Man, people love water.
3 for 3.
People love the water. I get it.
I'm telling you, man. I'm picking the right one.
That is a gorgeous house. That is a gorgeous house. I keep picking the ones that nobody wants. It's fine. It's fine.
It's fine. You'll get them for cheaper.
Yeah, I'll come visit you there, and you come visit me at the other one.
100%.
That's fantastic.
You have your own room.
I use Mojo Dialer, David. Yeah. Was using Batch. It wasn't getting us the connection rate. I think that they overbuilt it, and so moved back to Mojo. Raf?
Ready Mode.
Ready
Used
mode.
to be Zen Call. Yeah.
Zen Call.
But yeah, we're getting pretty good connection with Ready Mode.
Good. Awesome. Good question. Hey, Brent, can you give a breakdown on the % times ARV, your fee for all markets, including high markets, Atlanta, SoCal, etc., for this shifting market? Thanks. Yeah, I can do it right here on this whiteboard. Here we go. So first, you got to find out the ARV, right? Oh, this rate's nice. I like that. Okay, so we've got the ARV. And then in our market here in Phoenix, we're finding that people are buying, and this is coming from Jeremy, my disposition manager. They're going about 75% minus repairs.
That's fancy.
Right?
Yeah.
I still can't write, but that's okay. So in those higher markets, 75% minus repairs, and then you get your wholesale fee. I would say in most markets, you'd be safe if you, are at 70%. Yep. 70% minus repairs. And so this is going to be typical, but let me do this fast. And I have a literal whole YouTube video breaking this down, but I would go to Zillow. I would go to Redfin. I would go to realtor.com. I would get all of those prices and add them all together and then divide by 3 to get their average estimate for that. And then what you want to do is if it's 250,000 plus, you want to be at 50% of that. If it's between 250 and 100, you want to be at 35%. This is just fast numbers. And then if you are at 100 and below, you want to be at 15%, guys. This is the quick and dirty. This is the quick and dirty. Let me pull this up a little bit. That's the quick and dirty of the average of those 3. And that makes it very easy for you to go out there because listen, The hardest part when we're getting started is this a deal or no deal? Right? And when I say this is your, go back to this, Matt, this is your max allowable offer, right? That's the highest that you want to go. If you'll put that on the screen, Matt. So the max allowable offer is this. This takes into account the repairs. You don't need to do we have the updated 100 repair estimate? Here's the updated, because costs have gone up. Inflation has pushed this up. Take a picture, guys. There's 3 different buckets to put these in. I keep saying buckets on the show, but it makes sense. You guys get it. Whatever. Easy, needs work, and wow, this is bad, right? Easy is those properties that, okay, carpet, paint, get rid of some odors, maybe, get some new countertops, freshen up the bathrooms a little bit. If it's under 1,500 square feet, that's what that top line is, guys, is square feet. Under 1,500, and then 15 to 2,000, 2,000 to 25, and then 2,500 plus. Don't beat me up on this, guys. Obviously, if the property's 10,000 square feet, it's going to be a lot different on those estimates, but that'll get you really close. And so use that. You can use that as you're pulling your comps in for your after repaired value. Don't overthink it. What's the most beautiful property in that market sell for or has sold for? Right? And then start backing that out. And then you go, okay, well, times 0.7 minus this repair estimate gives me the wholesale price. And then I have to subtract how much I want to make. You subtract your fee from what the wholesale price will be. So ARV minus, well, let's just do it. Let's just do it here so that we're clear. Okay. ARV. Okay. Times 0.7 or 70% minus repair. I like this thing, Matt. Repair cost, right? That is your wholesale price. Okay. And then from there, you want to subtract your fee, your assignment fee. Okay. And then that is your max allowable offer, which should match up. Hold on. There we go. Which should match up to around this. Let's see if we can get that in there. There we go. Cool. Does that help? Is that helpful? If that's helpful, hit that like button. How many are we at, Hondra? How many likes do we have? 81. We need to pick it up the pace. Holy cow.
Yeah.
If that is valuable, hit that like button. It exposes us to the architect, the matrix architect inside YouTube. And they're like, yes, people like this. Let's put it in front of more people. And then the crowd and the squad grows. Everybody wins. Here we go. Malcolm, I'm using a Novation for a fix and flip. Should be a $50K profit. Come on.
There we go.
Awesome. Great job, Malcolm. Great job. I'm telling you, it's a tool in the toolbox. Yep. Dayon, where can I find great VAs? It just depends. If you're thinking about getting a phone prospector VA, which is kind of synonymous, people just call, the phone prospectors VAs.
Yeah.
There's a couple resources. I like callingreps.com. If you want something that's like $10 and it's managed, callingreps.com. If you want like the best of the best, it is Call Motivated Sellers. That's who I've used for 4 years now. I've also used Calling Reps. And Call Motivated Sellers, they are the top of the top, the highest quality. But I'll say this, Dan. If you've never made a call, if you haven't talked to 1,000 people yourself, don't hire a VA. You're wasting your money. You won't know what to look for. You won't know what's going on with the leads. They're going to send you a bunch of junk. It's going to be a total waste. This is not the market to do it.
Well, that, and you don't want to practice your conversations, your real conversations with with a seller, when you actually have somebody who's hot and ready to pull the trigger,
Yeah.
you wanna have that training already under your belt.
Yeah.
And that's what cold calling does. Like, it builds a skill set. It's not just,
Well, and
the
listen,
lead gen
if you are in real estate, you need to build skills
Yeah.
in this market. Matt, are you able to pull up the 10 skills? You need to build these skills, and one of them is effectively communicating with property owners. Guess how you get really, 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 really good at it? You talk to property owners. After you talk to 1,000 property owners, you can talk to anybody about anything, really. It goes into blends into all parts of your life. But this is not the market to go, oh, I'm going to go hire 3-5 people and have them make a bunch of calls and skip trace. You will lose all your money. I'm telling you, I've seen it time and time again. You know what I get all the time? DMs, emails. I can't figure this out. I've got all these people making calls. How many calls have you made? I've never made any calls. I have a job. Well, then do it when you don't have a job. You don't have a job 168 hours a week.
Yeah.
I made the controversial statement on a couple interviews last week that I don't think you should hire anyone, until you have $300,000 after taxes, cash, and an account. You want to know why? Because everybody, Raf, you included, me included, Pace, Jamil, Gary V, Grant Cardone, Mr. Wonderful, all of these people were in the dirt for a long time, had a lot of conversations, built their sales skills, built their ability to have quality conversations with people.
Yeah.
You have to put in the work. If you leverage skills in this market, you're done. You're done. Just make the calls yourself. Build up your database. Keep all the money. Stop hiding behind, oh, I can just hire some people. And all the other people saying that you could do it right off the bat are lying to you to sell their VAs. I'm just telling you. They make more money on their VA companies than they do real estate. It's just facts. Build the skills yourself and you are bulletproof. Build the skills yourself and people can't take it away from you. Build the skills yourself and a divorce doesn't wreck you. A injury doesn't wreck you. Illness doesn't wreck you. A market shift doesn't wreck you because you have the skills. I'm telling you. I mean, follow anything that Alex Hormozy, who's going bananas right now, is talking about. And he had 2,500 appointments himself selling like gym memberships.
Yeah.
Everybody that is really, really, really next level has done it themselves. Has done it. Jamil texted and called every single real estate agent in Phoenix. Every single one. Himself. Built his whole business. Himself.
Yeah.
Pace has been doing it forever. Pace is still doing it.
Yeah.
Luke Rodvold, who is now multimillionaire, flipping properties all over the place, developer, wholesaler, is still on the phone 2 hours a day, cold calling. I'm just saying, like, if you want to leverage other people's skills, this is not the market. It's going to crush you. I just want to, like, I've seen this done before, and it happened to me. I thought that I was too good. After 2 years of really doing it and really getting good and really doing something, I was like, oh, I'm going to be the business owner. I'm going to move, the Robert Kiyosaki thing where you go through this whole thing, right, Raph? You go through the cash flow quadrant where you are here, right?
Yeah.
Where you're you want to be business owner right away when really you should be right here building all the skills so that you could be really good at this and then become this after you get really good at this part right here. You got to be Michael Jordan on the court for a while before you get into the owner's box. You haven't earned it.
Man. No way around it.
Right?
Yeah, there's absolutely no way around it.
It's been fine for a couple of years because anybody could lock up any deals, but the market's done. That's done. That whole thing is done for a while. And so it's the time to really build skills, and the people that build skills are going to make an absolute fortune. Yeah. Absolute fortune. Here it is. Here's the 10 skills. Guys, you can get this at ttpinsider.com. ttpinsider.com and rank yourself on a scale of 1 to 10. Oh, I love that, Matt. You crush that. On a scale of 1 to 10 here, 10 real estate skills test. Number 1 is time management. which boils down to priority management, which boils down to energy management, which really boils down to attention management. Where are you putting your attention all day? Number 2 is your lead generation methods. Are you going to buy the business? Are you going to get referrals for the business? Or are you going to earn it by being proactive? How many people have you worked with that know, and are you getting loud on social media and building up a referral database that's going to send you deals for free? That's how you grow a business. How are your phone skills and communication? How good are you at what on a scale of 1 to 10? Are you even doing it? Or are you just getting these leads from your VAs and then just hoping that some deals are going to fall into your lap? It's not going to happen. Not in this market. Pre-qualifying, buyers and sellers. How good are you at understanding what your buyers are looking for? How good are you at understanding the 4 pillars of pre-qualifying every property owner? The condition of the property, the timeline to sell that property, their motivation to sell that property, and their price. How good are you at coming up with the comps and understanding the potential? How good are you at lead follow-up and answering the questions that are in the mind of the seller? How good are you at presenting your offer and actually getting a signature? How good are you at negotiating once you do get this deal with the buyers and sellers? And how good are you at focusing every day and starting at 0, even after, like the guys before here, when they close a $99,000 month in September? Guess what? One good month doesn't get you into the Hall of Fame. You got to do it again and again and again and again and again. And that should be your minimum standard. Minimum standard should be 99. They'll get it over 6 figures. I'm sure they will.
You know that image that you put up earlier with the ladders?
Yep.
The consistency really driving this whole thing is going to be that lead generation portion. You can try to spend all the time setting up scorecards and spreadsheets and all kinds of stuff. But if you're not working on that lead generation part of the business, nothing else is going to stick. Nothing else is going to matter.
Guys, you can download that. Take that test. Be honest with yourself, and then you got to figure out when you what to focus on. What to really build up, where are you really strong and where are you weak? And then just start building those skills. Because skills are in every industry. Every industry has skills. But we don't think about it in real estate. We just think about, well, if a seller needs to sell, we give them an offer. And if they accept it, money. Yeah. Not anymore. We got to get going.
Good morning.
We got to build those skills. And that's what we're here for. We're here to at least let you know what they are and help you build them as fast as possible. Whether it's watching the show or whether it's getting into our world, whether it's joining the Rhino tribe, whatever it is, we're here for you. Just closed a deal, $13K profit on Monday, and have another locked up for $16,000 next month, Newcastle County, Delaware. Marlon, we celebrate you. If anybody is in Delaware, reach out to Marlon. That is absolutely incredible. Congratulations. That's 8 bell rings. Now we're doing it. Now we're building some stuff up. I love it. Jesus, Brent, I have a seller that wants my contractors to see and walk through the house before signing the purchase contract. How can I get the seller to sign? Bring your cash buyer in. Raf, you want to take this over? Or, any other thoughts?
Yeah, no, keep it open. Keep that conversation honest. Really, if that's what they're looking for. And listen, there's going to be issues. If you push back on things like this at the beginning of the conversation, there's going to be issues by the time the walkthroughs happen. So just knock it out of the way. If you have people already in the pipeline that might be interested in this, bring them in. Yep. Everybody knows what's happening anyways, as far as assignments and profits. So yeah, I go for that.
Yeah, Jesus, you can, if they're stuck on, there's a couple different ways to go here, right? Like, I can't get all of my ducks in a row until I get a commitment from you. I'm going to commit to you with this purchase agreement at this price and this terms, but I need you to I need your commitment before I start bringing everybody through, because it's just going to waste their time if I bring everybody through and we can't agree that we're going to do business together. So can we do business together? And then I can make this, I can bring everybody in. It's going to be an absolute circus, but I need to get commitment from you. I'm willing to give you commitment right here, right now. I'm signing the purchase agreement from what we talked about. You wanted 165. I wanted at 150. We agreed on 157. Does that work? Yes. Okay, great. And then you wanted to close in 30 days, right? Okay. I'm putting that there. Great. Here's the title company. Here, sign right here, and we'll rock and roll. I'll call my guys right now. Right? Just make sure it's a deal. But you don't go through all of that unless you know the condition, timeline, motivation, price. Can we pop the 4 pillars on that? Right here. Every single conversation you have with the property owner, this is the skeleton of those conversations. Look how fancy that is. Every time I see this graphic, I'm like thinking like a Greek statue. Yes, yeah. Like Zeus is going to pop his head out somewhere. Property condition, timeline, motivation, price. And in that order. You ask them first about the property condition because that'll open up the conversation. Figure out when they want their money. Figure out why they want their money. And then figure out how much money they want. There you go. 4 pillars of pre-qualifying.
It's incredible how much the timeline pillar tells you.
It's everything.
I mean, a lot of times we think of it as, okay, 30 days, right? And then you're thinking a timestamp. But really, if you start reading between the lines, you pick up a lot more context when people say the time.
You better believe it.
Sell it. Yeah.
Yeah, you better believe it.
No, I don't. I mean, I want to get the right price. What's your timeline? Well, I can close on this tomorrow. Like, that's a whole another different story.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I need to get out of this property.
Yeah.
Yep. David, once I get a property under contract with the seller, so I need to send my contract to title, with the earnest money before I can start marketing to end buyers. Or can I begin this without sending to title? I open it up and I would open it up right there at the kitchen table. My acquisition managers do as well. We downloaded an app called Turbo Scan. You can scan it now. I think if you Google it, you can just scan it with your actual iPhones, like just with your photo. There's like a setting in there that you can do it, but I like Turbo Scan. It's just cool and turns it into a PDF and it'll email it and do really cool things. But I'm sure you could do it for free just with your phone now. Anyway, I would scan it and send it to title right away. I want to know if there's any issues right away with the title because you just never know. You never know if somebody else is on title or if something isn't all the way paid off or whatever else. Yeah. So, yeah.
We do the same thing. So we'll scan them. We'll leave the original copy with the seller.
Yeah.
People love having that original paperwork with them.
Yeah.
We also add a release of authorization in there to make it faster just for title.
Awesome.
So a couple of things in there. Yeah.
Do you really?
Yeah. We added, I mean, that's the last page.
Explain what that is.
So a release, an authorization releases is title is going to reach out to them and it's going to take them a little bit of playing back and forth on phone calls to get permission, right? To start running numbers and talking to the lenders and all that stuff. So what we do is we just add that thing to the end of the contract. It's the last page on our contract. We get it signed along with the contract. That way, when it comes in, they don't have to worry about, that back and forth. Because sometimes it's, it takes a day or two to get a hold of, the parties, right? Yeah. So anyways, it pushes that, that title process a couple days faster.
Is that your shirt?
No, this is actually my friend gave me this. Cash flow is my mantra.
Who's it from?
John Troutman.
Oh yeah, John.
Yeah, John.
Big commercial guy here in town.
Yeah.
Great guy. Shout out to John. Cash flow is my mantra.
Yeah. You like it?
I like the gold. Yeah. Kat. Thank you, Kat. I appreciate it. She's like, you butchered it the first time. Yeah. We have a flip that has been on hold for months because of permits. We don't want to lose money. How would you find buyers to get the most out of it since it's not done? Active hedge funds. Active hedge funds won't because their buy box is going to be only a certain amount of repairs needed. And if it just depends on how far along you are. But if it's not, if it needs significant rehab, they're not going to be interested in it. If you take it to a wholesaler right now, they're going to beat you up. They're going to, unless you got a smoking deal and you could just get out of it clean, great. If not, button it up, get it sold. Because if you leave it beat up, it's going to go for way less. You're going to take a way bigger hit. Yeah. Talk to some agents, get some counsel there. But it's just like, if you take it to, like, if you were to take it to me and I see a private, and we're getting these all the time, by the way, Kat, we're getting these flippers that are bringing these deals to us from our website. They're just hitting on our pay-per-click or Facebook ads or whatever. And then they submit it and they're like, yeah, I just need to get out of this thing. And then they're trying to get like $50,000 more than what they bought it for. Yeah. And I'm like, guys, come on. Like, I need to go $50,000 under what you bought it for. You're going to have to take a hit. This is a falling knife right now, or fix it up and do something with it. fix it up and make it an Airbnb or rental or whatever else. Fix it up and sell it. But yeah, permits are a bummer. Some of the people that got into these flips that required significant renovation that requires permits, you got to do your best.
Numbers are the key, right? But we can't ignore timelines, man, especially when you're running bigger things on projects like that. If you're going to be taking it down, you have to consider the timelines, even not just for us. If you're taking it down, that's one thing, right? But consider the timelines if there's going to be stuff like that going on for the end buyer too, because that's going to be another factor that impacts how well you sell that deal. So, yeah.
Yep. Sydney, on the dispo side, have your hedge fund buyers given you a timeline of when they will pick up their volume? They're already back. They sent a couple of them had like a happy hour type thing with top people that were selling them deals in town. So we've had that conversation. We know what their buy box is. It's just different. Their buy box is a lot tighter now. So you're going to see they're going to ebb and flow. They're going to come in. They're going to go out. They're going to come in. They're going to go out. So you just need to understand what their buy box is and what they're looking for. And then you can tailor your efforts to finding those properties.
What are you seeing on iBuyers?
Like open door offer pad. I looked at Open Door's inventory. Yeah. They actually have 500 pending right now, which is a lot higher than the 150 they had pending a month ago. And but they still have 2,100. They're still buying. One of our listings in the brokerage, we had it at I think it came on market at 669. They had a straight comp at 650. Mm-hmm. They sold. It took them 60 days to sell that, but they dropped $100,000. Oh yeah,
listing. Yeah.
Oh yeah, they're dropping them like
they're
crazy.
Liquidating. Yeah.
Oh yeah, they have to.
Yeah.
I mean they're going to take hits. Yeah. They bought some silly properties though. They went too fast.
I agree.
Yeah. Patrick, yes, go talk to real estate agents that represent hedge funds. So really pretty easy. Just go find the cash purchases. You need to have batch leads, right? Or prop stream or something. Find the cash purchases and then look for the ones that have bought, over 30 properties in the last 90 days or so. And then like reverse engineer it to find the real estate agents that are representing those. So they have specific buyers agents that they filter everything through. And so make sure that you reach out to them, have a good conversation with them and see how you can do business together. That's the best way. Second way is you could post it to Facebook groups and just say, hey, who's got, a connection with a hedge fund? I've got a great deal for them. I'd love to see if they want to buy it. But the better way is just find the agents that are representing them because they buy a lot of on-market properties. So you'll see that it was actually listed and then you'll see the same buyer's agent a ton of times on those sales. But it's right there in batch leads. And so get in there and you could be able to filter that. And you get coupon codes for all of these things, guys. We have great relationships with all of them. Rob, yes, I'll tell you what, Dimitri Van Camp's after this show, watch that. 400 deals from Belgium by himself. Here's another guy. He's by himself, makes calls all day, sends out texts all day, 300 to 400 deals, keeps all the money. He's talking about how unbelievable our country is compared to Europe. How it's literally the land of opportunity. Literally, he loves capitalism. Literally, he loves free market. Guys, the rest of the world is not like this. I'm telling you. Like, it's incredible we don't know. So we take it for advantage. And we're like, oh, we're just going to hire people. He just goes and he crushes it himself, makes a fortune, and lives like a crazy life. I invited him to the training, the Novation. Yeah. He says he can't do it. He's horseback riding in Bruges.
Bruges. That sounds exotic.
It is exotic. Yeah. So it's a fantastic interview, guys. It's a kick in the pants. I really think it's a kick in the pants. It's on here. It's doing very well on the channel, and he's incredible. He's really, really, really incredible. I asked him, how'd you do this? How'd you figure all this out? He's like, you just do it.
Yeah.
What do you mean? How do I do it? You just do it. You
Progress,
just
not
keep going.
perfection,
Yes.
right? Yeah.
Right there. That's exactly right.
It's written on the wall.
Yep.
Literally.
Derek, what if a seller wants you to handle the probate process and pay for the fees? How would you work that out? Well, some of them don't have the funds. What I would do, Derek, is I would ask around, and I would also call around to all the different probate attorneys and say, would you be willing to get paid in escrow? Ours does.
Yeah.
Will you be willing to get paid in escrow? And you'll find somebody that'll do all the work, but the seller has to then be super committed, because they'll hit them with like the cost if they don't sell it at the end of it, type of thing, right? They're not going to work for free, so they'll slap it with a lien or something or a judgment. You don't want to mess with that. So the seller needs to be 100% committed, and it's a great tool, Derek. So you have somebody that's going to work on their behalf to do this probate, and you're going to be able to buy it, and the probate attorney is getting all this stuff done, making it very smooth for them. And so you're like, listen, if I'm going to bring my attorney into this, then you need to be 1,000% on board selling the property to me. And you could do an if then on this. And if then are just very powerful. Right? It'll really draw out any kind of unhidden agendas. If I can get this probate attorney to do all this work and get paid by the sale of the property, then will you commit to selling the property to me? No. What are they going to say? They're going to say, yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Just make sure you have all the other pre-qualifying. Make sure you know what price they want. Make sure you agree to that price. Make sure that there's not any unknown family members that's going to pop their head out in the middle of nowhere. You know what I mean?
Yeah. We do a couple of things too along those lines. It's understanding that probate can be difficult, right? People don't know how to go through that process. So if we build relationships, we have that power network to reach out to. It's going to be a big, big value add. Now, the way that we did it with the couple of probate attorneys that we're working, we'll do $1,000, not us, but we'll have the seller do $1,000 up front, and then they get paid for the rest on the back
Love
end.
it.
Now they're vested
Skin
in the
in the game.
transaction. Yeah, now they have skin in the game, right? Yep. So I mean, yeah, it works beautiful when you have that power network in there. So
awesome. Guys, real quick, as a special treat, we have a 60-second little promo trailer, I guess, teaser for that Dimitri Van Camp interview, which is absolutely phenomenal. So watch this. Seriously, this is bananas. It can't be that simple.
Oh yeah, it's definitely that simple. It's very simple, yeah.
So what'd you make on that deal?
On that deal, I made $10,250.
Come on.
Yeah.
Guys, he does it from like 10 o'clock at night to like 3 a.m. You should hear his schedule. It's bananas. It's hilarious. Gets up, goes to the gym, eats, goes on a date with his wife, does this every day. It's great. Anyway, check that out. Listen, anybody can do this business. Anybody can do this business. He does it from Europe. He does it from Belgium, in Florida. I mean, he's been here like once for like 3 or 6 months, and then has been doing business here since 2016.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Incredible. Well, you have students all over the place.
All over.
You know,
yep,
overseas that are crushing it. We see people. I don't know what's people in Israel. You know, for some reason, Israel has it going on, man. Like,
I love them.
A lot of wholesalers in Israel.
I love them. Yeah, I speak to a group of real estate investors there all the time. They're incredible. David, have you been seeing a lot of your contracts getting canceled and fall through lately? If so, and you start title, does that mean you typically have to pay those fees if the deal falls through? Well, the camera's on you, Raf, so let's go.
No, I mean, if title doesn't close, you don't pay them. I mean, we don't pay title whenever the title process has already been opened. And yeah, we've had a couple of deals fall through. I mean, it's just because of the price adjustments. Now, what we're doing is we're going back to revisit the deal, right? I mean, either getting a price drop or switching some of those into like creative financing strategies. Now tapping into more Novation, kind of stuff. So you can go back and rework them if you have to. But if the title has been open, normally you don't have to pay those fees. It's just they get paid when they close. It's kind of like an agent, type of deal.
Yeah, it depends on the title company. Some of them can charge you up front, or some of them charge per opening the file. Find the ones in your city, state, whatever, that don't charge you. So, and lock up deals that are deals. You know what I mean? Lock up deals that are going to go through. So it's not an issue either way, but sometimes it does. Sometimes the market shakes up, and some of the deals that you locked up, people don't want to buy anymore, especially if it's kind of like on the outskirts. And so, yeah, lock up real deals. We have found contact rates have been going up. Chris asks, have you found contact rates to contracts going up or down recently? I think that we've seen an uptick in contact rate. That means how many times, what is the amount of dials that you have to dial to, or numbers that you have to dial to get a connection, to actually talk to the homeowner? You want it between 7 and 10%. And I think we're just over 8% right now in Phoenix for us. And I don't know what contact rates to contracts means because I don't track that. I track, I mean, I guess we do. So first at the top of it here, I'll just show you here. You've got distressed properties. Okay.
Then Melissa's asking, what are contact rates?
Right. So you got the distressed properties, and then about, 80% of them, you'll get a phone number for, maybe higher. But usually that'll be the right phone number. And then from there, you'll call them and you'll get between a 7 to 10% talk to rate. Like they actually pick up, or contact rate. Okay. 7 to 10% talk to rate. That is crazy. And then from there, from the amount of people that you talk to, you want to shoot between 1 and 20 conversations equals a lead. Okay. So then you're talking to people, and between 1 to 20 is a lead. If you can get 1 out of 10 people that you talk to is a lead, that's phenomenal. So what we usually say is not what we usually say. What the numbers show is you need 200 contacts equals 1 deal. And usually you get about 10 contacts per hour. So that takes you 20 hours. That's if you're calling. Now, if you have a VA calling, it is now 5 times that amount. You need a VA to call for 100 hours per deal. And that's if they know what they're doing. That could go up exponential based on their experience. This is why I say make the calls yourself, because one, even if you're paying $5 an hour, you have to pay somebody $500 for that deal, right? Well, that's not bad, Brent. I make $15,000, I make $20,000. Yeah. Well, guess what? You have to also skip trace all of those numbers. You need to pull all of those addresses. You got to burn through all of that data. How many addresses does that take? I mean, you can call between about 50 to 100 addresses an hour. So you're talking 5,000 to 10,000 addresses that you need to get one deal, and you have to skip trace them. Well, my skip tracing only costs 4 cents. Okay, then you need to call a lot more because your contact rate is going to drop down. If you're using batch skip tracing, which is the best, you can get it through batch skip tracing or batch leads, it's going to cost you between 12 and 14 cents. So what's 12 and 14 cents divided by those 5 to 10,000 addresses? So now you're looking at like maybe 1,700 to 2,000. And then you're looking at this thing and you go, okay, if it's 1,700 to 2,000, that's not bad. I'll just make some more calls and it'll be good. You're going to run out of numbers. You're going to run out of distressed properties. So the issue with this strategy is it works for 1 year and then it falls off. And then you don't have a business and you don't have skills because you burn through all your addresses. You burn through all your calls. You paid you pay somebody $5 an hour. They don't have the skills. They're going to send you in a bunch of leads that aren't really leads. And then all of those leads are going to hide the good leads. And then you're not going to do as many deals. 200, Chris. You calling though. 1,000 to 2,000 to 3,000 if a VA is calling, depending on their skills.
And I've seen some crazy, we do spot checks on calls, and we've hired some, VAs directly.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, some people just crush it. They do real well. And some other ones, I mean, they're just insanely hilarious in terms of how bad they are. So yeah, just keep that in mind. You have to know what you're hiring for. So it's always a good idea to actually go through the ringer and understand how those conversations need to roll.
For sure.
Yeah.
Michael, had a seller yell at me because my offer was too low yesterday. He hung up on me after cussing me out, called back and said my number was too low, told me what he would accept, and then hung up. Great, Michael. Move on. Next. You know what I mean? Like, if people are going to get super emotional about it, then they're not ready to be realistic sometimes. So just move on. You have to look at, the amount of distressed properties. If it's 6 to 10% and there's 143 million properties, residential properties. I mean, we're talking, like almost 14 million. Guys, we've got buckets and we're going towards the ocean. We don't have buckets and we're going towards some like puddle in the street. You know what I'm saying? Like there's there's more deals out there than there is us, or there would be no ugly houses than there are us. I don't know, whatever grammatically that is. So Michael, keep going. Great. There's probably not a person on here, I would say, that's been cussed out more than I have.
Oh, follow-up question here.
Yeah.
Statement.
Should be locking up a deal today after getting out.
There we go.
That's
what's up.
Well, there we go. Wish Alejandro would have let me know that before I went on a rant on getting rid of the lead.
Yeah.
Will the Novation training be recorded? Can't make it at the time. No, at this point, no, not. It won't be, Brandon. I don't know. I don't know how they work these things, to be honest. I don't know what Todd wants to do with it. I'm really not in charge of it. So he says maybe. That usually means no. So jump on it if you can. If not, maybe get somebody that can be your proxy. Travis, what strategy do you think will be the most effective in the coming year? Ugly houses, big checks. Right? I mean, like, there's still going to be ugly houses. There's still going to be distressed property owners. I think Novations is a great way to add to your business and be able to help more people, because there's going to be people that can sell their property retail, but it needs some work. And I think it's a huge advantage for you to be able to serve those people. But ugly houses, big checks.
It's a foundation of everything, right? We craft our marketing for ugly houses, big checks, and now everything else is going to be like a bolt-on strategy. You're talking creative, you're talking innovations, all that stuff. But I mean, I think the marketing and the emphasis needs to go to that ugly houses, big checks process.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's the way to keep it going, Travis. You know, that's how you keep bringing in the income, which allows you to keep doing this. Because the fact is, as we have entrepreneurial minds, but you need to go back to being self-employed in this thing and putting in the work, but still an entrepreneur, and work it and work it and work it and work it and build the skills, and then start building out your team and systems and everything there, right? And as entrepreneurial minds, if we're not getting paid, we get distracted, right? But if you're getting 20, 30, 40, 50, $100,000 a month in this business, guess what? You're going to stay focused. And the people that stay focused build the biggest bank accounts. People that are all over the place, they're just trying to find the right thing to focus on. And I understand that and I respect that. But I just think if you focus on having quality conversations with people that own ugly houses, you could build a really, really, really robust and long-lasting business that you can be really proud of. And it's not just a flash in the pan. It's not like a firework where it goes and it just explodes real fast, right? This is something that's long-lasting. This is a bridge. This has deep foundations. And the foundations are built by putting in the work and building your skills. Zachary, are construction costs still going up while property values starting to decline? I've been noticing a lot of buyers resistant lately, and their repair estimates are way higher than I've calculated. Yeah, Matt, put it up one more time. The repair estimate little chart. Yeah, this is up from what it used to be by 10K all the way around. So it's not only just like, I know lumber's coming down, wood's coming down, all that stuff, which is great. But you've got labor costs, you've got just inflation, regular inflation on all the other things.
Transportation, logistics,
transportation, gas, all of that stuff goes up. So yeah. Brent, I am a home inspector, 16 years in Allentown, Pennsylvania area, pursuing real estate investing since March. Yes. Still trying to decide if I should drive for deals with Deal Machine or talk to agents. Matt, first of all, I love whatever medal, whatever you won there. I don't know if that's an Ironman or if that's a Ragnar race or what that is, but you are a better man than I. I'll tell you what, that is incredible. That's some endurance athlete stuff. That is, if you could do that, you could do this business, no problem. So what I would say is both. It's not or, it's and. You know what I mean? Talk to 5 agents a day and go drive them for dollars and call those people too. You've got enough. You should have enough bandwidth in your day to be able to get an hour, 2 hours, or, you know, what I say, if you're going to really get going in this, 20 hours a week part-time is going to be really important, and just find that time. So do both. In that time, 15 hours of that should be with just outreach, just building the connections. So you absolutely can do both. And I encourage you to. Brent, do y'all lock up creative deal y'all were working on this week? Can you tell us about the deal and your exit strategy? No, so Ryan was on that appointment Monday. Great deal, still a great deal. And the wife of the owners, the wife decided that they know she has a personal relationship with the agent, and so they wanted to give the agent 30 more days to just try to see if they could sell it on the market. It's not going to happen. So got pushed out. I was literally getting texts from Ryan, my acquisition manager, as we were doing the show, and he's like, "Oh, I'm going to get it. Oh, they pushed it back." So that's where we're at with it. Kiva, here we go. Driving for dollars. In between my Lyft rides today, just picked up 8 more ugly houses. Let's squat up if you're looking to JV or need eyes and feet on the ground in the greater San Francisco Bay Area. Get with it. Kiva is absolutely incredible. She has, she is building so much momentum behind everything that they're doing. So make sure that you guys squat up if you're in that area. One more? That's it. Hey, what a great show. Guys, join us tomorrow. Novationtraining.com. Register right now. Everybody needs to be on that. Join us tomorrow. Todd Toback's going to go absolutely bananas. So go there, register at novationtraining.com. We'd love to spend some time with you tomorrow. It's going to really break it down and add a huge tool to your toolbox. So everybody come on up. It's a team effort here. Thank you guys so much. We love you guys so much. We encourage you to go out there and talk to people and have quality conversations. Raphael, Matt, Alejandra, yeah, we'll show it off. What about it? There you go. That's Alejandra's outfit. She's got the V-neck. There you go.
That was her asking about her own outfit.
We love you guys. Remember, keep your house clean, protect your health, and increase your value to this world, and you'll live a fantastic life. I'll see you next week. Love you. Or tomorrow. See you tomorrow.